So right now, if it does, my word for the year is growth. If it's not helping me grow, is it growing my knowledge base, growing my relationships, growing my business? If it's not really doing anything for me and my growth, that's the thing that I say no to. Knowledge is not power. Why? Because power is derived from how you leverage your knowledge. You know what people need? They need homes. You know what people need to get homes? They need mortgages. And I'm talking to you, mortgage people. Every one of your customers wants it fast, they want it easy, they want it quality, and they want it reasonably priced.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's A&D webinar. Today, we're joined by Steve Richman. He's going to give us his 6 steps to sales success. But before we do that, let's get to some quick groundkeeping rules. We'll give a minute or two for some people to trickle in and get settled. Then we'll kind of get right into it. But in the meantime, for those people, if you've got questions, I would encourage you guys to use the Q&A panel down at the bottom. We've disabled video and audio so that we can get a clean recording. We'd also ask you if you could to turn off cell phones so you can give your full attention to Steve and all the great tips that he's got for us today. And then I'll go ahead and answer the first question that we always get, which is, yes, we are recording this presentation, and you'll get it within probably 24 to 48 hours afterwards. So first, let me introduce myself. I'm Carl Holman. I'm the Director of Content and Communications, and I work here at A&D Mortgage for the last few years. For those of you who are not familiar with A&D Mortgage, we are the #1 verified non-QM lender in the country by a couple of the different magazines. We've been in business for this, we're coming up on our 20th anniversary. We are licensed at this point in 46 states, so we're just about nationwide. And we partner with more than 6,000 brokers across the country. Um, and we have very fast both turn times when it comes to lending and response times when we're dealing with broker inquiries. So we try to do everything in under 30 minutes or less. So we really want to make sure we get in touch with everybody. And then just similar to here, so predominantly we are a wholesale lender working through the broker through the mortgage broker channels. We do have a small correspondent and retail um, branch, and then we are also the aggregator and securitizer of our own mortgages on the capital markets through our sister company, the Imperial Fund. So for those people, as I mentioned earlier, we're licensed in 46 states. So all the deep purple ones are ones where we officially are fully licensed. And then there are 40 states where you are not required to be licensed if you'd like to do a business purpose loan with us. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Steve Richman. Steve is a highly noted sales expert, one of the most connected people and influencers online within this industry. So, and fairly sarcastic too, as I recall, right, Steve?
I have my
Um,
moments.
yeah. So let's go ahead and let you introduce yourself a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and start talking about your 6 tips.
Well, first thing I got to say is hello, what's happening, everybody? How you doing? Yeah, this is being recorded. I see you see my deck, my face, everything. I appreciate the purple and black. I'm a Baltimore Ravens guy. We had a good game last night, so thank you very much for the background. We got the purple and black going on.
Go
My name, you can
Jaguars.
shake your head no all you want there, Carl. It's all right. I'm a Raven. What can I tell you?
Well, we got the Jaguars, so I don't know anybody
And
that.
that's why I'm a Raven. Boom. So here's what's happening. Right now, I don't know if you can see, well, you can't see behind me because we have one of these nice virtual backgrounds. I'm sitting in the middle of a Hampton Inn up in Long Island, New York. I flew up here yesterday. I leave tomorrow morning. I'm going to go to Des Moines, Iowa. I've been all over the United States. I've spoken in every single state in the United States of America to over 750,000 people. And I got to tell you, flat, some of you probably have seen me. Maybe you haven't seen me. I don't know. But here's what I got to tell you. It's nuts out there, man. If you need to describe today's market in one word, that word is crazy. And I'm not talking Patsy Cline crazy. I'm talking CeeLo Green. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called mortgages. It's nuts out there. And I want to bring a little sanity in the marketplace. And I know Carl, he wants to ask me some questions, but I just want to get everybody in the right mindset before we start doing that. I know it's tough right now, but long term, we're going to be okay. Okay. You know what people need? They need homes. You know what people need to get homes? They need mortgages. You know why businesses fail? Because they get replaced by something. The reason that there's no longer a Blockbuster is because you have a Blockbuster in your pocket in your cell phone. The reason that the post office is struggling right now is because everything's being done by email. It gets replaced. What's replacing mortgages and real estate? Nothing. It's going to be here. We're going to be needed. We're going to be okay. I need you to have that. If you were thinking of getting out of this industry and you said, oh man, it's time, that's it. I can't stand it anymore. It's time for me to quit. You blew it. You should have quit like 18 months ago. We didn't go through what we just went through over the past 18 to 24 months for you to get out now. Things are starting to move in the right direction. And you're going, but man, there's other stuff in the world that's going on. We got wars that are happening. We got recession. Who don't even know? I don't care if there's a recession or not. The reality of the situation is, you know what your job is? Go do more loans. Is there a recession? What are you supposed to do about it? Do more loans. Is there not a recession? What are you supposed to do about it? Go do more loans. We see all this stuff that's going on all around us, and we have to figure out how we can focus. And I know what you're thinking, because 2 weeks from today, there's going to be an election. And once that happens, the Republicans and the Democrats, they're going to figure it out and they're going to work together and they're going to make everything really good for all of us. That is not going to happen. Okay. That's an absolute fantasy land. These people are going to fight. We have to figure it out for ourselves. And if you're trying to figure out where rates are going, that's where rates are going on the left-hand side. They're absolutely crazy. They're up, they're down. And if you don't care about rates, you probably just care about Travis and Taylor, and you're trying to figure out what's going on right there. So hopefully you've sort of said, okay, Steve, I get it. We're all over the place. We got to control what we can control. We got to think about what we're going to do. But how do I get rid of all that noise? And my answer to you is think about this woman named Marie Kondo. Carl, you know who she is? You ever heard of her?
I have not actually.
Okay. Carl, I don't know you. You a married guy?
Thankfully, no.
Thankfully, no. Okay. If you are your wife, my wife knows exactly. This is the woman who says, let me show you. She's an organizational specialist. I'm going to show you how to get organized. I'm going to show you how to get focused. And she says, if you have too much stuff in your house, I want you to go around your house, pick up everything, embrace it. And if it doesn't spark joy, throw it away. And that's exactly why I don't let my wife hug me anymore. But what she says is, right, go out there and get that stuff to go right there. Someone just put in the chat box. I'll see what it says. There's a Netflix series with her on there. See, look at that. Well, I knew somebody would know who she is because she's awesome. So my comment to you, similar to what she says, is we all need a word. And I don't know what your word is going to be. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that, but you figure out what your word's going to be. Just like hers is spark joy, mine's growth. So right now, if my word for the year is growth. If it's not helping me grow, is it growing my knowledge base, growing my relationships, growing my business? If it's not really doing anything for me and my growth, that's the thing that I say no to. So I'm not saying you have to pick the word growth. Last year, my word was authenticity. Why was it authenticity? Because we're talking about AI and everybody wants to talk about AI. So I said, how can I drive more authenticity? This year, it's been growth. Pick your own word. That's what you need to do. And I strongly recommend it. And with that being done, I know, Carl, you got questions about the 6 steps. I just wanted to get everybody in the right mindset.
Cool. My word's rutabaga. Um, okay, so yeah, let's go through the steps and
Well, if your
tell
word's
us.
rutabaga, I feel like I'm talking to Dwight Schrute because you should be his cousin because he's a beet farmer, and that's where you can be. All right, keep going.
Yeah,
Let's go.
the Bears beats and Battlestar Galactica. All
Yep.
right, yeah, let's go ahead and look at the first of your 6 steps to success. Tell us what you're doing to get all this loan activity. And
Well, you tell me, Carl. You think knowledge is important?
yeah, I think a lot of people would think it's important. I do.
You do.
It's a good
Why? 'Cause
starting
if you don't
point.
know what you're talking about, it's really hard to sell it, isn't it?
Please, we're in marketing. No, we do. No, yeah, of course.
Come on, baby. So what you look at is everybody says, yeah, knowledge is important, and everybody says knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is not power. Why? Because power is derived from how you leverage your knowledge. If you just sit there and you're like, I know every chart, I know every number, but I can't communicate with people, I don't know how to do anything with it, and it's just sitting there, you're nothing more than a book. What you need to do is figure out what's your action plan around that knowledge that you're going to do to be able to figure out how to make success. See, but and I don't know why we're not getting builds on here. They were here, but I get, sometimes WebEx will do Zoom will do weird things to you. So my builds aren't in here right now, but I want you to take your education and turn it into edu action, right? So
Mm.
let's talk about some knowledge stuff that we have right now. You know who this guy is? Do you know him, Carl, by any chance?
Of course, I know him.
You do?
Of course.
Yeah, he's a knowledgeable guy, right? He's pretty darn
Yep.
smart. Just if you didn't know, he is retiring at the end of this year. So you only have to really pay attention to him for about 2.5 more months because he is retiring. But he's one of the smartest guys in the
Yep.
mortgage industry that I know. And I've shared many a meal with him, and I was sitting with him on a plane going to a conference together. We actually just happened to be seated on the same plane next to one another. And I started to talk to him. I'm like, dude, you have all these numbers. And you know what he said to me? He goes, numbers are stupid. He actually said that to me. Numbers are stupid. I can make any number I want. I can't change trends. So if I want to show unemployment is high or low with a number wise, I could say, okay, I'm going to include the underemployed, or I'm not going to include the underemployed, or people with 2 jobs, or part time, or this or that. I can create that. But once I have that foundation, when I look at the trend, I can see it either going up or going down. So we always have to look at trends. Who do I look at when it comes to trends? This is a guy named Elliot Eisenberg. You see right there where it says on your screen, econ70.com. Carl, I'm telling you,
Mhm.
you got to pay attention to this.
Yep.
Econ70.com is a guy named Elliot Eisenberg. He comes out. He's actually down in Fort Lauderdale area, which I believe is home base for a lot of you folks.
Yep.
He comes out every day, Monday through Friday. He says, this is what happened in the economy today, and he does it in 70 words or less. Free, delivered
Free.
right to you. And he sits here on less than a month ago. He tells me what happens to down payments. What are we looking at? Down payment, it's risen now. Since then, it's almost steadily risen. It's now 18.6%. Median down payment was 10% back in 2020. Now we're at 18.6%. If I'm in LO, do you think that that's important to know what down payments and how much money people are putting down? You better believe I need to
Yep.
know that. Elliot's your man. Apply to that and you'll be able to get it. This one, see, this is the National Association of Home Builders.
Yep.
We know that there's a problem right now, that there's a lack of housing. Why? I'll tell you flat out. You know what my rate is? My rate in my mortgage, I'm transparent. I'm 2 5/8. You know what that means?
You ain't
I'm
moving for a
leaving
while.
toes up, baby. They got to
You are
wheel me
locked
out of
in.
my house.
Yeah, you're locked in.
I'm not going anywhere. So they say, why aren't we building? Why aren't we building? National Association of Home Builders says right there, 24% of the sales price is going to the government. Why are they not building $100,000 homes? Because they're really building $75,000 homes because 25% is going directly to the government for regulatory costs, building code, zoning, stuff like
Mhm.
that. This is one chart that I think it helps people understand. They say home prices are going down. They're not. They've gone up, they've gone up, they've flattened out, but they're not starting to go down. And if they're going down, it's a smidgen. It's gone down very little. See, if you go to a website, and Carl, you love this site, man. It's FHFA.gov. It comes
Yep.
out once a quarter and it tells you exactly what's going on in the housing market. Now, it says
Mhm.
right now, home values are at 5.7%. I'm from North Carolina. That means they're up 5.8%. But right now, I'm in New York. That means they're up 8.9% in New York. Carl's living over there in Florida. His home values are up 4.8%. So you got to look this stuff up all on your own. But
Mhm.
remember, I told you, you got to take action to get the knowledge that you want and do something with it. This comes from a place called FHFA.gov. When most of you are going to go look this up, you're going to say, what did that guy Steve talk about? You're going to go to FHFA.com. Please don't go there because that is an adult oriented site. Okay. That's porn. So I sent you to FHFA.gov. Make sure you go to the right site. That is not where I'm sending. I'm sending you to .gov, not .com, and you can see where you are. All right. Y'all with me? This one, and Carl, you tell me, are we going to send this deck out to people? With the people that are here, are they going to get a copy of it?
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna do it right
This
after.
one, folks, and I saw a chat just came in, and just interrupt me because I'm talking here if I need to respond to a question on that chat.
Nope, no,
But
I just was putting your FHFA.gov
gotcha.
address out for everyone to Copy
You
down.
see that black line that's going down? It might be blue. I'm colorblind, but I know there's a darker line and a lighter line right there, and there's one that's going down.
Yep.
People say, look at that, rent's going down. No, 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 no. That's the percent of increase in rent is going down. Okay. So that's what's going down. The amount of rent is actually staying the same. That's that red line that's pretty consistent across the top. It's
Mhm.
just fluctuating a little bit right there. Why? Because it's gone up so high, it can't go up any higher. So when people say rent is going down, it's not. What it's done is it's so high that it can't
Plateaued.
go higher. Boom, that's where we are. There's a place, MBA, their numbers, are they good? Hey, sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong, but this is the MBA's mortgage finance forecast. You just have to Google MBA mortgage finance forecast. Look at the trend. Go back to Doug Duncan. What did he tell us? Look at the trend. Rates they're predicting are going to go down, to go down, to go down. Volume they are predicting is going to go up, to go up, to go up. Purchase volume they are predicting is going to go up, go up, go up. So what did I tell you? If you look at what a Q1 of 24, that is really the lowest volume and the lowest purchase volume on this entire list. Now is not the time to get out of this business when things are starting to look better.
Mhm.
So just because Carl said, hey, can you share stuff with people? You got to subscribe to robchrisman.com, the number one mortgage
Yep.
newsletter, comes out 6 days a week. Take Sunday off, absolutely free. Econ70.com, I told you about that. Home Facts, that will give you all your data and statistics for every zip code in the United States of America. You'll have a blast playing with that one right there. And then if you want to know more about AI, there's a Clubhouse. So, Carl, you tell me, how am I doing right there? I'm not ready for step 2 yet, but what questions do you have for me or thoughts?
None actually, because it's pretty straightforward. I'm Rob Chrisman. We know him well. He's hosted some stuff with us, and I believe AI Clubhouse is that Scott Shang's group?
Scott and Ginger.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you
Scott
look on
Scott.
the picture, there's Scott, there's Ginger, and there's me,
Yep,
that
yeah,
little
Scott. Yeah.
guy down
Okay.
there.
Yeah, yeah. Scott did some stuff with us earlier last year too. So yeah. So you've got all pretty much similar sources that we take a look at. So
Fantastic.
yeah, let's go over to step two.
Well, I want to hit another source real quick, if I
Okay.
may. Why do I want to hit this? This is my favorite source of information.
Yep.
The National Association of Realtors puts out a profile of home buyers and sellers.
Every
You'll
year.
note it says 2023. Why? The new data comes out in 2 weeks. We're doing this now. So all I can show you is the old data. But if you look in 2 weeks, what I want you to do is go to Google and type in NAR, National Association of Realtors, profile of home buyers and sellers, free highlights. Okay. So if you look at the blue line at the bottom of the screen there, it says buyers and sellers highlights. What they do is they sell you the book. It's about 200 pages long, costs about $200. Or they give you 8 pages of free highlights, and that's really all that you need right there. So I would tell you in 2 weeks, start looking up profile of home buyers and sellers, and it's going to go through and it's going to talk about how first-time buyers make up a third of the market. It's going to tell you, and this one blows my mind, the average age of a home buyer is 58 years old. So we keep thinking that all home buyers are very young. They are not very young. The average home buyer is 58. It will tell you that they're all couples because singles can't afford to have a home, and most of them don't have children living there. Look at that for a second. 70% of recent buyers don't have a child under the age of 18 living in the house. I look at people's marketing, it's all about a young couple like it shows
Gen
on that
Zs and
right.
millennials and
Exactly. So it's a big difference that's going on right now. This one I do want to flag for you all that are sitting there and listening. Hopefully you're listening. They say, hey, I'm going to live in that house for 15 years, but the reality is they move every 10 years. So my tip for you, if you're sitting here listening to this webinar right now as we speak, later on today or tomorrow, whatever, go to your CRM, look for anybody who's been in their house for 8 years or more, because they're starting to think about moving. That's your number right there. It's 10 years. And I look at this, they're like, oh, and you know this, Carl, everybody, oh, we're going to talk about the NAR settlement, the NAR settlement. Let me just tell you something about the NAR settlement. Well, we're getting rid of all buyers agents. 89% of all buyers are going through an agent, and I don't see you're going to be a big change in that number. Redfin, I don't have this right here, but Redfin did a study and they said, okay, how much since the NAR settlement came in are buyers agents making less money? And they are. percentage-wise, they used to earn a commission of 2.62%. Now they make 2.55%. That's right. They're making a whopping 0.07% less on commission. That is insignificant. They're still going to be there. Don't think that they're going away. And we have to stay in touch with our folks. And fortunately, we're looking at what? We still have people doing mortgages. 80% of all buyers finance their home. So we've been hearing about it's all cash buyers these days. 80% still need a mortgage. Amen. Hallelujah. That's why we're staying in this business. What you got for me, boss?
Oh, good.
Thoughts?
No, that was interesting. Yeah, because I mean, even I've been guilty of focusing on Gen Z uh, and millennials. So yeah, looks like it's our age group.
Well, right. And when I got into this, I got into this business in the 1900s. It was 1996, but it was the
Yeah, same here.
1900s, right? So I remember what I thought a 58-year-old looked like when I was in 1996. Boy, that was a whole different kind of situation. Now I'm like, oh, I know what a 58-year-old looks like. I look in a mirror and I figure out what a 58-year-old looks like. But what we're finding is that 58 in the 1990s is different than 58 in the 2020s. So you have a lot more people that are engaged, and you have to be able to cross all those barriers. Now you're sitting here on Zoom and you're looking at me and Carl, and all I can say to you is, I'm sorry. I wish we had some more fascinating and interesting people. So we're going to do a celebrity Zoom call. Check out who I
I'm
got on
fast.
my Zoom call. Boom. I know you want to talk to Carl, but you know who I want to talk to? I want to talk to these people. Why? This first thing you got to pay attention to. If you've ever seen this silly show Wipeout, and it is silly. It's
Mm,
fun, but it is silly. I know every single LO that is listening on this call right now, they've done some loan for somebody where they jumped through 84 hoops and had to clear 47 hurdles to get it to settlement. And we're like, don't you love me? And I know what your customer says. Man, that was difficult. You made that so hard. Can you lower your rate, your commission? Can we deduct some fees? That was hard for me. Closing a loan does not earn loyalty. They expect you to close the loan. You know what earns loyalty? Making it easy for them. Carl, you ever go to the dentist?
of course,
Of
I
course.
have I have
If a
teeth.
dentist, and your expectation is that you get clean teeth. But if while they're cleaning your teeth, they also hurt you, what are you going to say? I'm going to go look for another dentist that can clean my teeth and not hurt me.
Yep.
Folks, ease earns loyalty. Getting it done does not earn that loyalty. And I thought from the beginning of my life, I would never have to say this word. I really never thought I'd have to say the word Kardashian. But I got to say the word Kardashian. Why? They taught me one thing: video counts. And folks, you need to get on video. But I don't like the way I look on sound on video. Hey, here's a news flash. That's the way you look and sound to each and every one of us every day of your life. You have to get on video. It is a way. I don't know what to say on video. Squat them. I don't know what to talk about. Squat them. Tell a story. QA, question, answer. Hi, I had a customer ask me this question. Here's the answer. That's a video. What's T? Tip, trick, tutorial. Tip, trick, tutorial. Hi, are you a first-time home buyer? Here's a trick to be able to purchase a home. Hi, looking at our website, here's a tutorial on how to use that. Tip, trick, tutorial. And what's M? Myths and mistakes. The number one mistake for a first-time home buyer is this: myths and mistakes. So all of a sudden, by saying squat them, I just gave you every way that you should be talking about video online to make you the next Kardashian, and everybody will pay attention to you. Boom. Now, we go from Kardashian, we're going to go to what? America's sweetheart. Who's America's sweetheart? Snoop Dogg, baby. Snoop-a-loop, D-O-double-G. Why? Because when we look at Snoop Dogg, this guy was a gangster rapper and he's now America's grandfather. I can't stand people that say to me, we got to go back to the basics. No, we have to build on the basics. The puck is going. We know what Gretzky said. He doesn't skate to where the puck is. He skates to where it's going. The market is changing. Snoop understood that the market was changing. And what did he do? He reinvented himself. And now's the time to reinvent yourself and your business, because the market is changing and it's becoming much more technologically advanced very, very quickly. And that's something you need to do. Now, Why do people do business with you? Michael Jackson, too soon? So, they do business with you. We already did it about knowledge because you know something somebody else doesn't know because you know what you're talking about. They'll do business with you. But you have to do something. I'm going to do business with you because I know because you're going to close my loan. I like the things that you do. But more than what you know and do, it's how you make somebody feel. Did you give them the confidence that you're going to get to the settlement table on time? Did you give them the confidence that you're getting the best deal and you're looking out for them? See, it's the way, and Michael Jackson had this song, The Way You Make Me Feel. It's the way you make them feel is when they're going to say, yes, you're the person I want to do business with. And I know we keep talking about price and we say, can you beat it? Can you beat it? But the real answer is, can you prove it? We live in a land today. I mean, I don't know about you, but I put on the news this morning sitting here in my hotel room and they're all talking about disinformation and all this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
We live in a land where everybody's saying, I'm not sure. We have to be able to prove it. So when you're coming up with all this information and you're sharing it with them, make sure you know your sources so that you're able to prove it. And this last one, and Carl, I'm going to talk to you on this. You know who Jeff Bezos is, huh?
Yeah, of course.
You ever, well, let me ask you this. Do you think
When he
relationships
started
are
when he
important?
started his book selling business in his garage,
Book selling business in his garage, and now he's a gazillionaire.
and an
Do you
astronaut.
think relationships are important? Does A&D think business relationships are important?
It's the most important.
It's the most important thing. Let me ask you a question. You ever shop at Amazon.com, Carl?
Of course. And I
What's
am
the
a
last thing you
prime
bought at Amazon.com that you don't mind telling everybody who's on this call about?
dog costume.
A dog costume
It's Halloween
for your dog or for you?
for my dog.
Okay, I didn't know if you were dressed up for a dog for Halloween. I don't know what whatever. Dog. But here's my question. When you bought that dog costume, what's the name of the person who packed it?
Beats the hell out of me.
What's the name of the person who sewed it together?
Beats the hell out of me.
Amazon is teaching everybody on planet Earth that it's all about the transaction. Point, click, and get. Point,
Yep.
click, and get. I don't have to shake hands. I don't have to know a name. Carl just said it's all about the relationship, but Amazon's teaching everybody it's all about what? The transaction, not the relationship. So who wants the relationship? The mortgage company wants the relationship. Amazon wants the relationship. And that's why they created Prime. See, what they did was they said, okay, how was that transaction? How was the next transaction? Here, let me hold on to your credit card. You can trust me because we're in a relationship. Why don't you sign up for Amazon Prime? You see what they just did? They established the relationship. They established themselves through the transaction so that you, the consumer, wants the relationship. And when we think about that, what we see is for the transaction, and I'm not just talking Amazon, I'm talking to you, mortgage people. Every one of
Mhm.
your customers wants it fast, they want it easy, they want it quality, and they want it reasonably priced. And I know, oh no, it's got to be lowest price. I lost a deal to an eighth of a point. Hold on a second. And Carl, you ever bought a bottle of Fiji water?
Yep.
Yeah, Fiji water's not the lowest price, is it? No, it's reasonably priced. So it's all about speed, ease, quality, and price on what? Returning phone calls, texts, conversations, closing loans, providing information, meeting with the person. Those are all transactions. If you do those transactions and you're fast when you do it and you make them and the way you make them feel, you're easy to work with, driving that loyalty. You provide something of quality, you provide a transaction of quality at a reasonable price, then they're getting to know you, like you, and trust you. You don't start with the relationship, you develop the relationship through the transaction. And when we convert transactions into relationships, we call them translationships. That's trademarks pending, but Carl, I know you.
You can
You're a
use it.
marketing guy. You like the translationship? Pretty
That's
cool.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
All right, there you go. So you got edu-action and translationship right there. And now we
Relation
get
actual
to our
doesn't
next
work.
one, unless you got questions for me, my man.
No, I'm positive you're going to go on to the positivity.
You're bum bum. Hey, he wrote that himself, folks. So what are we looking at? We're looking at powerful positivity. And I know this. People all the time are saying, oh my God, the market's tough. This is what's going on. Where do we need to go? What do we need to think about? Let me get you in the right mindset. And the right mindset is that we've been lied to our whole lives because people have said to us, hey, if you work hard, then you can be successful. And once you're successful, then you can go be happy. I know that that's what they told us, but they all lied. Because as soon as you work hard and you start to find success, what do they say to you? Go be happy? Nope. What do they say? Go work a little harder, because if you work a little harder, you can become even more successful, right? That's what we're looking at right there. The reality is a guy named Professor Sean Acker. He comes out of Harvard University. He's actually the professor of happiness at Harvard University. What he says is happy people work harder and are more successful. Happy people work hard and they're the most successful, which begs the question, who in this room knows how to be happy? I know it's a Zoom room and I can't see you raising your hands, but who in this room knows how to be happy in a non-pharmaceutical sense, right? I mean, that's why we have all that stuff that's online. Every time I watch a football game, it's like, are you not feeling well? Boom, take another pill for that. Well, there are ways that we can start to become happy for ourselves. And the first is to understand that your happiness comes from within. It doesn't come from something else. So if you say things like, if I only won the lottery, then I'd be happy. Well, if you only won the lottery, then you'd be happy. You'd only be happy for 3 months. If I only worked for that one company, then I'd be happy. Folks, going to be happy for 3 months. Then you're going to realize this company has a lot of issues too. Okay. If I only found true love, that's why it's a honeymoon. It lasts for 3 months and then you got to start working on the relationship. Okay. Think about it. You win the lottery. What happens? 3 months later, you're going, how much do I have to pay in taxes? Why am I the one always picking up the check? Why isn't anybody, are these really my friends or are they just looking for money? It's a tough thing to do. So when we look at it, and excuse me for 1 second, because I've been talking, got to wet the whistle real quick. But when we look at that, it has to come from within. And if it comes from within, then the happiness is long lasting. If it comes from without, it lasts for 3 months. So don't get me wrong. If anybody wants to give me a winning lottery ticket, I will accept it. And I'm going to be real happy for 3 months. But after that, where are we? So how do we do it? Well, this is the guy. This is the man. This is the one, Robert Waldinger. And what he says all the time is, but he works for Harvard also. He's been part of a study that's been doing studying happiness for over 75 years. They're up to 80 now. Don't read his books. Don't watch his videos. He says, I can tell you everything we've learned in one sentence. Good relationships keep us happier and healthier. Period. End of discussion. So if we're trying to figure out about these relationships and how we can become happy, let me give you 7 habits real quick that if you do these things every week, it will make you a happier person. And the first one, Carl, I'm going to ask you this question. Well, I shouldn't, but I'm gonna. I'll ask everybody on the line. Is there someone in your life that every time you talk to them, you feel worse? You feel depressed? They drain your energy. They make you miserable. They make you uncomfortable. We all have that person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have somebody in your life that every time you talk to them, you're pumped up, you're psyched, you're happy, you're optimistic, you're like, yeah, God, when I talk to you, I feel so good.
Yep.
Folks, it's not a
Those are
big
the people you
secret
need to
here.
talk to.
I'm sorry?
Those are the people you need to talk to.
It's not big secret, right? Talk to the people that pump you up. Don't talk to the people that make you miserable. It's that easy. Well, how long should I talk to them? There's this thing called an 8-minute phone call. I'm going to get personal for a second here. My dad, I had a great relationship with my dad. I love my dad. And he's passed. And especially towards the end of life, he would call me up all the time. Hey, Steve, how you doing? I'm good. Okay, click. And he'd hang up. And I'm like, I want more. It's not enough. You asked how I was doing, but I didn't get to hear anything. Folks, you need to have a substantive phone call with people. 8 minutes makes it a substantive. You don't have to talk to somebody for 30 minutes. I don't want to know that much about you at all. But 8 minutes is the trick to making a meaningful connection on a phone call. That's what you need to do. But I don't know what to talk about. They say I should be in small talk, but I'm not really good at small talk. I don't like small talk. How do I do small talk? It's really easy. Oh, we got another chat button here. Let me just see if it is. Sorry for your loss. Thank you very much. I mean, I appreciate that, James. It's going to happen to all of us one day, right? Unfortunately, but thank you. I appreciate you saying that. But when we look at small talk having big benefits, I don't know what to talk about. Everybody can talk about the weather. Everybody can talk about, oh my God, it was so hot. It was so cold. It was so rainy. That was the biggest snowstorm I've. Everybody has a weather story that they can tell. So put that story in your pocket and be ready to roll it out when you need to have a conversation. Everyone on this call, everyone on this call has either has a kid or has been a kid, which means we all have story about family. Oh, my brother, my sister, when I was a kid, the kid that me as a kid, my kid that I have today. We all have something funny that a kid did at some point in their life. So you have that story. Vacation. Where's the last place you went on vacation? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Tell me a story. Where would you like to go on vacation? Entertainment. What's the last movie you saw? What book are you currently reading? What do you think that you should be? What should I be binging right now? I'm looking, my wife and I, and this is true. Go ahead, throw this in the chat box. My wife and I are actually looking for a show to watch together. So, what do you think that we should be watching? Everybody likes to talk about that. Everybody likes to talk about food. I'm sitting here last night. I'm in the middle of Huntington. I don't know if you ever even heard of it, New York. And I'm like, where should I go just by myself? Da, da, da. They go, there's a great wing joint down the street. I went to the wing joint and I'm texting my family. I'm like, oh my God, these are the mango habanero at this joint is just so good. And they're like, tell me more. We all talk about food all the time, and everybody's met a celebrity at some point. Everybody wants to, oh, what were they like? Tell me more about them. So we have it right there. When I say write and deliver a living eulogy, why wait till somebody's gone to tell them how awesome they were? Why don't you tell people how important they are in your life today? And I know people, oh, I say thank you all the time. Three words that are more meaningful than thank you: I appreciate you. Then we have the importance of work friends. Since 1996, I've worked in an office until the last 2 years. Now I work by myself. The thing that I miss more than anything else about working at a company is my work friends. I get up, I walk from my desk, I go to the kitchen, it's lunchtime. One bread, two bread, something in the middle, 4 bites, and I'm back at my desk. See, my wife, my wife, I adore this woman. She is incredible. I met my wife in 1980. My wife comes out, and what's my wife say? I say to her, hey, the appraisal came in low. She's like, what are we doing for dinner? While I adore her and I love her, she has no empathy because she has no idea what it means when an appraisal comes in low. Oh my God, here's what we're seeing. Your work friends are very important. Don't cancel plans, continue to go to meetings, continue to show up. And you can't do this once and expect it to take hold. You need to do it every single day. And when we go and we do this every single day and we continue to roll with it, what we need to do is stay off the ladder to crazy town. Because what that is, see, we get negative ourselves. You see or you hear something, so you tell yourself a story and then you get emotional about it and you act on those emotions. Carl, you ever had somebody say to you, hey, I'll call you back in 10 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah, call you back in 10 minutes.
3 days later.
And forget 3 days. He's like, it's been 11 minutes. Why haven't they called me back? They working with somebody else. They're not going to find a better rate somebody else. I can't believe they're doing it. What an absolute jerk. They're not going to call me back. The nerve of that person. Blah, 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 blah. Oh my God. Right. And we get all upset and we tell ourselves this negative story. It might just, we don't say, oh my God, they haven't called me back. I bet you they're planning me a surprise party. See, we tell ourselves this negative story and then we get all emotional on it and we act on negative emotions. And most people will tell you, most therapists will tell you, don't act emotionally. Don't act on your emotions. Oh, shut up. If I'm that high up the ladder, I'm acting on my emotions. The trick is say, am I telling myself a story or is this reality? Because if it's not reality, stop telling yourself the negative story and getting upset about it. Step off the ladder at the lower rung. You hear what I'm saying there? So make that happen. So what we just did is to figure out how you come up with this stuff in your own brain. But I know you're sitting there right now and you're going, oh my God, it's all about AI. Can we do AI? And I've heard so much about AI and what should I do with AI? Here's a couple things about AI. And what I'm going to talk about for AI right now is flat out people promise you, oh, this is what's going to happen to AI. This is where it's going. These are things that you can do with AI today for little to no money, and you don't have to get your corporate structure involved in it. All right. Y'all with me on that? So that's what we're going to do. Y'all ready? Here we go. What is AI? A real estate agent is to the internet what a home builder is to AI. Huh? If you're looking to buy a home and you go to a real estate, what do? They find all the homes that are available for sale and they show them to you. When you go on the internet, you say, give me a recipe for chicken, and it looks up all the chicken recipes that are online and it shows you what already exists. When you go to a home builder, you say, I don't care what's on the market. This is what I want you to make for me. And that's what AI is. It makes something for you that hasn't been there before. What are some of the AIs that we use? If you haven't used ChatGPT, you need to get on it now. Figure out what do I use ChatGPT for? And you're a marketing guy. You tell me, Carl, do you use ChatGPT? A
little bit.
little bit. When people say, what do I use
Good for
ChatGPT
first drafts.
for? For words. It creates your words. If you're creating an email, a flyer, a script, or a presentation, it creates really good words for you at the beginning, and it's a great way to do it. How do you do it? It'll ask you, what do you want to do? 4 things. I am, they are, create a form of. I'm a retail loan officer. They are a first-time home buyer. Create a list of 5 reasons why now's a great time to buy a home and put it in the form of a social media post. Boom. You just did it. I am, they are, create a form of. Now that's what you need to do for your prompting. You can create a conversation. Everybody hates role playing. Everybody hates role playing. Did you know everybody hates role playing? You can go out there and say, role play with me, pretend that you're Tony Robbins and help me create a script to overcome objections on price. It's a great way to do it. And if you haven't started ChatGPT, sign up for the free version first till you get comfortable with it. The newer, well, it's always changing, but the one that I'm using more than ChatGPT right now, I'm using Google Gemini. Why? I think it does research better. But if you go back a long time when we talk about some of the presentation that I was talking earlier, and I said, remember Michael Jackson, you need to prove it when you say certain things. When you pull stuff up through Gemini, it footnotes all of its sources for you. So if you say, here's the number one reason, da 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 da, it will tell you where it got that information from. So you can actually prove stuff. The other really cool thing, and if you're a loan officer, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. Go out to your real estate agent. If they're selling a home, take your phone and take a picture of it, give it to Google Gemini, and say, give me a description that a real estate agent can use to describe this room. And it will be the best description that that real estate agent could ever write to describe that kitchen. It's so cool. This is how you start to use this stuff. I really like Claude. It's not quite as popular as some of the others. It does 2 things for me that I love. You see, there's a little paperclip right there. So if I'm somebody, I'm a loan officer and I have a database with 100 real estate agents and I actually still go to their office, you can upload your database right there into Claude and it will map out how to go from agent 1 to agent 2 in the most convenient route so that you're not backpedaling or doing anything like that. And my handwriting stinks. And right there at the bottom, you can take a picture of your notes and it will transcribe your notes so that you'll be able to see what it looks like. This is meta.ai. You're going to get lost in this one for a while because this is the biggest time suck there is. If you're looking to create something, a picture that looks really cool, go to meta.ai and type in the word imagine. Imagine a toddler having money rain down while sitting on a beach, and it will create that picture for you. You see that sitting right there? Boom, it creates it for you. I put imagine a formal dining room with dogs, with pictures of dogs and glasses of green wine, and it created that for me. And now they have a button that says animate. Now, I don't know, Carl, you ever watch the Harry Potter movies?
Long time ago.
Yeah. Okay. Remember when they're looking at the newspaper that the pictures, they actually
Oh
move?
yeah. They moved.
When you hit animate, those dogs will start moving their heads and stuff. It creates your own GIF or your GIF for you sitting right there. It's absolutely free. Check that out. In video, I don't like creating videos. In video, you type in, create me a video why now's a good time to purchase a home and talk about loan down payment assistance programs that are out there. It will write the script for you. It'll shoot the video for you without doing anything, and it will record it for you and create the video. It does cost if you want to clone your own voice, but it will actually, you speak to it for 2 minutes. It will match your voice. It'll copy your voice, your demeanor. It will copy your your pauses, your sarcasm, your inflection, anything like that, and it will sound exactly like. Check this out. I just said, give me do I now's a good time to buy a home? And it created this video in less than 2 minutes. I'm only going to show 10 seconds of it.
The dream of homeownership is closer than you think. Let's explore why now is the perfect time to make it happen. First off, paying rent is like paying 100% interest. Every dollar you spend on rent is gone forever, with nothing to show for it. But when you buy a home, you're investing in your future. Think about it. Each mortgage payment builds equity. That's like a savings account that grows over.
I don't want to go through that, like make you watch the whole video. Literally, it was free. I typed in, create me a 45-second video, and it did it within 2 minutes. And if you don't like, you're like, oh man, that looks like winter. Make it look like spring. They'll put video of spring for you. Did one, I said, make them play pickleball, and they played pickleball. If you need new headshots, studioshot.ai, you upload 15 pictures, and for $29.99, it will give you 50 headshots sitting right there. And you get to edit and say, make it look more formal, make it look less formal, make it look more fun. One of them I had to say, hey, take some of that hair away because I don't have that much hair anymore. So it does all that for you, creates your headshots. They look really good. And for webinars like this, I see this all the time now when I do webinars. If you've never been to otter.ai, check that out. Not only will it give you the actual transcription of every word that is said on a webinar, it will then summarize it so you don't have to listen to it for a full 30 minutes or 60 minutes or whatever. It'll just pull out the high points. And then it will also create emails for action items that you can send out to other people to say, okay, who's supposed to get me what? Boom, it's sitting all right there. And that's called otter.ai. That's some stuff that you can do, folks, right now when it comes to AI to help you grow your business and help yourself. What do you think? Carl, was that good with AI stuff?
Yeah, there were a couple of them that I hadn't seen.
There you go.
Pretty cool.
And that's it. If you've already seen one, here's the trick about it. If you've already seen one, doesn't really matter because you know why? They change them every single week anyway. So you got to keep on top of it and keep moving and make it happen. Now, when I say you got to be present, I see this all the time. People pick up, they're on their phone, they're on their phone, they're on their phone. If I'm in front of a customer, I do not take my phone. Can you see my phone? No, I do not take my phone and put it down on a table. I put it in a drawer, I put it in a bag, I put it in a pocket. Put your phone down and get down to understand what the customer really needs. Understand your loan programs deep down and get the lowdown on what's happening so you're able to get the loan closed. And what I will say is this, the number one mistake that I see in our industry is failure to follow up. Follow up is so critical. If I said to you right now, if you call me tomorrow, you call me on Thursday, and then you call me on Monday, I'll give you $1,000. Would you call me 3 days? Of course you would. Well, who pays your salary? Who pays your commissions? Your customer. What do you need to do? You need to call them and follow up, folks. Follow up is where the money is. You got to get it done. And that takes us to the 4Ds and the 2Gs. And then we're going to be done, Carl. So if you got a question, ask a question. Go in there to the chat box, put it up there. I'll answer anything you have. Because Aliana said, oh man, you're going to get a ton of questions. I said, we'll have to see if we get a ton of questions. So if you got a question, throw it out there. But I hear these people, and I wish I had builds here, and I don't, but that's okay. But the golden rules, do unto others as you have them do unto you. And that's just okay. Why? Because, you tell people don't be a jerk because you wouldn't want somebody to be a jerk to you, right? But to be more positive, I really like the platinum rule. Do unto others as they wish to be done unto. What does that mean? Folks, some of you on this call hate me or you hate somebody just like me. I'm a morning person. I wake up like this. I've never had look at Carly's cringing. I've never had a cup of coffee a day in my life. I wake up in the morning and I look at my wife. I'm like, good morning, sunshine. She's like, settle down, cowboy, because she's not like me. So instead of me, if you want to have a happy business, happy life, happy whatever, what do you need to do? Don't think that everybody's just like you and do what you would want. Do unto them what they would want. I hear it all, that do unto others as they wish to be done unto. I have people, they ask me this all the time. And they're like, Boy, that train of thought just got derailed right there on doing the, oh, people ask me this, should I text people? Should I email people or should I call people? Ask them. And if they want to be emailed, email them. And if they want to be texted, text them. And if they want to be called, call them. Do unto the others as they wish to be done unto. Now, the next one I'm going to say, and it's what I call is the diamond rule. And I don't want you necessarily to do things for people, do onto people, but do for others. For that will do for you. Everyone, and I love that this is the power of yes behind my head. It's the power of community and charity. Say yes to getting involved with a community or a charity cause. Because every time you get involved with a community or a charity cause, what happens? You help someone. And when you help someone, you make them happy. And when you make someone happy, you make yourself happy. And when you help someone and you make them happy and you make yourself happy, you grow your network. And you grow your network with people in a community or charity cause that they know you as what? A community-based and a charity-based person, so they get to know you, like you, and trust you from a place of positivity. So you just grew your network with the people that what? That you want to have in your network from the beginning. And the silver rule, and I say this, I don't know if anybody has kids out there. Eliana, do you have a kid? You're a younger folk. Come on, I'm pulling you into our webinar. Are you
Yes,
there?
yes, I do. I have two kids.
Okay, which one do you like the best? No, I'm kidding. Which one's the youngest?
The youngest is a 6-year-old girl,
And her name?
Agatha.
Agatha, have you ever, and the answer to this next one, I'm going to make it really easy, is no. Have you ever said, Agatha, you are a total idiot, an absolute moron, a perfect loser? Have you ever said that to your daughter? Please say no.
I can't even imagine this situation. No,
Okay.
of course no.
Of course not. We love Agatha. Question. How many of you on this call have ever lost your keys? And how many of you ever said to yourself, you're a complete idiot, a total moron, an absolute loser? Folks, doing yourself as you do unto others. Why are we giving our kids breaks and we're beating ourselves up? Why do we say the customer is always right and we think we're always wrong? You know who you look at and you talk to more than anybody else every day of the week? Yourself. Why don't you give yourself a break? You want to do something good for your daughter? Guess what? Show her how you're good to yourself and she'll learn how to be good to herself. Do unto yourself as you do unto others. Stop being nicer to other people and mean to yourself. Do unto yourself as you do unto others. Because when you think about it, the two greatest G's in disco were Gloria Gaynor. At first, she was afraid. She was petrified, but she's going to survive. Folks, I don't want to just survive in 2025. I want to thrive. And if I want to thrive in 2025, I got two other G's that I live by: grace and gratitude. Grace is what? Giving somebody else a break. Carl, when somebody doesn't call you back in 10 minutes and it takes them 3 days, don't pick up the phone. You're such a jerk. Why did it take you so long? You know what? I'm sure something busy came up. I'm happy to do that. When somebody cuts you off in traffic, don't be, oh my God, they're such a jerk. They don't deserve a license. Hey, something big is probably going on in their life. I hope everything's okay. Have a little bit of grace for people, just like you would have for Agatha. You would have some grace if she did something wrong. Have a little grace for yourself as well. Grace is a great way to go through life. And gratitude is being thankful. I know it's been a tough market over these past 2 years, but you know what we had during COVID? During 2020, we had one of the greatest markets of all time when 50 million Americans were losing their jobs. So what are we looking at? I'm grateful. I'm so sick of Zoom calls. I'm grateful every day for Zoom because when COVID was going on, I was able to keep my job and continue to talk to all of my customers. So that being said, I am grateful and I appreciate you all coming here to spend an hour with me today. And I hope more than anything else that you got something out of this presentation when we look at 6 steps to help you succeed in today's crazy market. If you have any additional questions, thoughts, comments, or concerns, there's my phone number. There's my email address. Just reach out. Let me know. We're good to go. But that being said, let's see. Oh, let's go back one. I want to look in and see if anyone has any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns.
Not at the I don't see anything in the Q&A panel at the moment, but usually people take a minute or two to think. So we can kind of quickly go through my wrap-up slides, and then we'll see if anybody has any last-minute questions. So again, Steve, thank you very much for sharing your 6 steps to success, and it's all about what you've said is exactly what we believe in, which is presenting information that'll help our partners in the broker community grow their business channels. And we typically try to do that through kind of 4 key ways that we work with our partners. I mentioned earlier our Imperial Fund relationship, and that's critical to 2 of those pillars, which just allows us to do a very streamlined loan process, and to both develop products that are flexible to the market. So we will grow loan solutions that are adaptable, as well as having flexible underwriting, especially in the non-QM space, to potentially take on greater risk or allow for higher LTVs, higher loan amounts than most people might normally do. And the other is the expertise and our sort of can-do attitude. And you've demonstrated very much that same can-do attitude and expertise that we believe in. And then, as I've talked about, we do a lot of educational webinars for our broker partners. So we've got a couple more scheduled in the upcoming weeks. So if you're around on election day, we will be doing our usual broker orientation. Typically that's for newly onboarded partners, but welcome returning partners or people who just want to check us out a little bit more in depth. And we'll cover our loan products, our technology, some of the services that we offer. And then we're still developing, but we'll do a product focused webinar. So we'll do a deep dive on something like DSCR or bank statements, or whatever the particular loan product is that people are asking us for. So people can put suggestions in if they've got any topics they'd like us to talk about. And again, no questions at the moment, but sorry, there is a question. Let me throw that out here. How do you practice developing the skill of translationship? Is it based on knowledge, experience, based on progressing through mistakes and failures? Good question, Claudio.
That's funny. I didn't see that question pop up, but I'm happy to answer it. The way that I look at it is understanding that both are important. Stop talking about just the relationship. When you're talking to that person, make sure it's the way you make them feel about the transaction, about how important it is to you, because you have a shared goal with that person to be able to accomplish everything that they're trying to do in a very fast, easy, and quality manner. And when you do that, then they're starting to develop that relationship with you. So I always go, because when they think about it, when they call you the first time, what are they going to say to you? What's your rate? What's your rate is not a relationship-based question. It's a transaction-based question. So meet them where they're at and do that relationship so well. And then while you're doing that, you're continuing to reinforce them to get to know you, like you, and trust you. So you're developing the relationship while you're doing the transaction. So I'm always thinking about, oh my God, I didn't call them back. Don't wait till tomorrow to call them back, because now you're not operating quickly. Don't tell them, oh, here, well, I know I should have said this, but I forgot to say that. Da, 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 da. Make sure you're providing quality communications to them at all times. When you do all of those things in the transaction, then you're developing the relationship.
Yep. Okay. Well, we're at time, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Very quickly, if you're not currently a partner with us, you can scan this QR code and it'll take you right to our website where you can fill out an initial broker package and start building that relationship with us with your first transaction. And then as you're logging out, there'll be a brief, I think it's 5 or 6 question survey. Let us know how we did, what you thought of Steve's content, and give us any ideas for any future webinars that we can present to you guys. So with that, we'll close it out for the day. Steve, thank you for outstanding content and good time, good sarcastic back and forth between us.
Have a great day, y'all. Cheers.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
you too.